All right, welcome to another week of Power 10 Sports Talk. Sadly, this will probably be the last time that we talk about college football, minus the championship game next week. With us this week, you have myself, the host, Andrew Gibb. Joining us this week is our expert on all women's sports, Aaron Callentine. Our person representing all of the youths, Brady Gibb. Our expert on everything basketball, John Sacco. Our man that knows all the rules, our resident referee and umpire, Brandon Ravine. And our special guest this week, a current Dover High School student, varsity athlete in soccer and track. He is planning on attending school for forensic pathology. Hopefully we're getting a scholarship with that. My other brother, Aaron Callentine.
All right.
And we'll get right into it with our reactions from stuff that's happened this week in college football. We'll start off with the last Saturday's game. Coastal Carolina goes toe-to-toe and loses the perfect season. Couple iffy calls from some MAC referees, not calling any PI. I still believe they should have won that game.
It's really
this
a shame.
Isn't alluding to any reason why I might have wanted them to win.
You were all in on the Chanticleer bandwagon, weren't you?
Oh, I am. I still am. Next season, they got this.
Next season,
number one seed in the playoffs.
What's interesting about this season is it doesn't take a year of eligibility, so realistically, everyone could stay if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So there's no requirement to graduate. You're either getting drafted or you're coming back.
Yeah, but I do think some guys will stay just because it's like, well, I'm already 23, 24 now. If I go into the NFL at 25, my draft stock gets really hurt by that.
Mm-hmm.
How many of them do you think will get drafted, though?
I think that they have a couple good defensive players that'll get drafted. A lot of their offense is younger, so they do get to develop that for a bit. But yeah, a lot of their defensive players are eligible for the draft. The Turtle Beach masterpiece, that linebacker they have, he is eligible, and I do see him going first or second round. He was very dominant at the linebacker position, and that's something that a lot of teams have a gap in the NFL right now. So yeah, I can
remember
see
with
him
these
going.
Smaller schools too, with these guys getting an extra little bit of eligibility, do they say, you know what, I'm going to stay around another year because someone's paying for my school? So if they're able to keep that eligibility and the school wants to keep honoring a scholarship potentially, then I think for those guys that probably aren't going to be drafted and they know that, they're going to stay around.
Yeah, stay and let the school pay for your degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What they just said, I believe it was a Michigan State player got his master's degree on senior night, and I'm like, that's pretty impressive.
Damn.
Yeah, because they did senior night, and he went out with his two dogs. Apparently, both of his parents had passed.
Right.
But yeah, they're like, oh yeah, he earned his master's degree and still wants to go to the NFL. And I'm like, damn.
Well, that's what's with a lot of grad transfers. Like Joe Burrow, he went to LSU to get his master's. Same with Trey Sermon at Ohio State. He's a grad transfer. He came from Oklahoma. He's getting his master's currently. It's pretty common.
He's got his bachelor's in underwater basket weaving and his master's in basket woven undersea sails.
Yeah.
There you go. Start the whole economy.
Yeah.
Underwater basket weaving.
Yeah. All right. Other news this week, we'll go into Wednesday's game with the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Pretty good game. The big thing everyone took away from it was them dropping the trophy and it shattering into a million pieces.
And then duct taping a bottle of Duke's mayonnaise to the top of the trophy. It couldn't have been more fitting than that.
Honestly, that's probably a better trophy than what they were giving them.
Yeah, getting rid of the crystal football.
That's iconic.
It's definitely a good story to tell. Obviously the Duke probably felt crappy at first, but...
And one thing I want to note, too, is everyone kept their mouth shut. No one would spill the beans on who broke the trophy. I think that was the funniest things about it, too.
Yeah, they ain't gonna snitch. There's
a video. There's a video from the locker room. The dude dancing, and it.
You can
see his tell he has big numbers on him.
I can
he admitted to it.
That's the thing.
No,
he
it's
admitted to it. He said, I was the one that broke the trophy in one of the interviews.
Mhm.
But I thought it was funny because the head coach, a few of the star players were just like, we don't know who broke the trophy. We're not
Broke it at the
saying.
team.
And they all did.
Yeah.
I was just scrolling and I see this video pop up of him. They're all dancing. They just drops it, and then the next slide is just him just sitting there crying with it in his hand, staring at it.
Now, see, the big question is, do they replace the crystal football and let them put that in the trophy case, or do they keep the duct tape bottle of mayonnaise on it and put
I
that
keep
in the
the
trophy
mayo.
case?
So
I
Yeah,
vote
well, then
that
like
they
10,
do
15
both.
years from
I
now,
would
that
hang that
trophy case is going to be
better. I
ranked.
would move the national championships to the side to put the Mayo trophy.
I
That
feel
thing's gonna
like
be
if they get
stankin'.
the crystal back, they need to set it to the side on like in the case,
Oh,
leave
yeah.
the duct tape trophy the way it is, and just put the crystal on like the base next to it.
Put it like in front
Mayo
of it or
Bowl is the
beside
former
it.
Belk Bowl. So there are many teams with a Belk Bowl trophy. There's
Yeah.
one team with a Mayo trophy.
With the mayonnaise
That's
trophy.
true.
Yeah, but this came up. So with the Cheez-It Bowl, we did see them dump a bunch of Cheez-Its on the coach.
Mhm.
We wondered what other bowl games could they do that for that would make it even better. And I was like, the Duke's Mayo Bowl definitely is the worst option. The coach winning that and then getting dunked with mayonnaise.
Man.
That would hurt.
smells like-
Hey,
That would just
I
be a
Brady,
blob on the
cover
back of
your-
your head.
Runner up might be the
Brady,
Citrus
cover your
Bowl.
ears, but
You have
that
to
sounds
get
like a bad
orange juice
porno.
I didn't want to say it because Brady was here.
Brandon, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
And then
you're
we
not
all
wrong
bring
at all.
attention to it.
So, Sock, who do you think the runner-up was going to be?
I said the Citrus Bowl if you had
Oh.
orange juice dumped on you.
Orange juice would be really sticky.
The Sugar Bowl, that definitely would be a little sticky.
That would be the
That'd be
pour
sticky.
some sugar on me.
Yeah.
That song in the background, and you just dump sugar packets everywhere.
Mhm.
Oh no, I was thinking like take like the big bags of sugar, pour it in
Yeah.
the Gatorade, and then just tip
That
it on
too.
them.
Just gallons of sugar.
Uh,
That'd be horrible.
It would
and
be
you thought getting
the
glitter
worst
off
to
your
clean
body
up.
was bad.
Glitter does suck.
It does.
Aaron, how do you
Thank
know
you.
what it's like to get glitter off your body?
Which one are you talking to?
EP.
Oh, I have so much glitter. I'm a girl. Glitter eyeshadow, glitter body like lotion that adds shine to.
OSU
Gibby,
was pretty expensive.
What is glitter?
It's
Yeah, arts
is
and
the
crafts
herpes
glitter
of the
too.
little
art
bits
room.
of what kind of glitter are we
It's
talking?
the
Is
herpes of the art room. Once it's somewhere, it's everywhere. I gotta be done with these jokes. God.
Nah, man, keep them going.
He's
People-
spitting.
People watch the show apparently more for us making jokes than they do our actual insights. Because we lack all insight.
Mhm.
Valid point.
Yeah. The Mississippi State game. It
Mississippi
doesn't matter
State
what
and-
happened in the game. Everyone's talking about what happened before the game with Mississippi State going out with no shirts and trying to flex on everybody, and it leading to a fight at the end where their guys possibly getting criminal charges.
See,
He karate
I-
kicked somebody in the
He
face.
kicked somebody in the face.
I was watching that. I didn't think it was as big a deal as
Yeah,
the
like,
announcer was saying. The announcer was, the commentators were saying criminal charges.
Yeah, I
This
heard
should be
that. and I was like,
investigated.
hmm.
But
Well, it
fights
literally is assault.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was at work and like I look up at one of the TVs and I'm like, oh shit, like there are people just throwing punches. And I think it was number one from Tulsa, just like clean clocked a guy running around in like a hoodie and sweatpants, just like turned and popped him one. And I was like, damn, this is getting intense.
I want to know what
That's
was
what
said.
Bull-
I don't think it will ever come out. But what made Mississippi State take that first punch? What made them
Yeah,
what
apparently it was just
de-escalated
jawing.
the situation?
It was just jawing back and forth. And then, well, I think what started it definitely was the last second. They go for the onside kick and some guy just gets blindsided.
Oh yeah,
Definitely doesn't help.
Yeah.
that was an
Coach from
awful
Mississippi
call.
State.
That should have been a re-kick.
Obliterate.
I don't know if it would have changed anything, but he definitely made contact.
Yeah, there
way-
was it
well
was
before.
unnecessary roughness, whatever you want to call it, because there was no intention of going for the ball or near the ball. It was I'm going to hit this guy at full speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's.
And I'm not for like fights or anything. gosh, did that make that game so much more interesting?
Yeah, that
I
suddenly
could
made
really did.
the Lockheed Martin
two
Armed
rats ass
Forces
about
Bowl
either of those
a
teams,
top game.
right? Made it enjoyable. I think I watched a replay of the brawl 3 or 4 times.
Oh, same. And all the different angles. Someone like got the crowd view, like from up above. Someone's like the
yeah.
TV reporter on the sideline.
And then-
yeah.
Well, Dan Mullen was
Mississippi's
across the field
coach.
taking selfies with fans.
Yes.
He didn't even know what was going on.
He's like, how you guys
Coach
doing?
of
I
the
love
year,
that.
coach
They
of the
circled
year.
it. I saw the video, and they're like, "Oh, here's their head coach across the way taking photos with fans."
Well, I think it was after the kick to the head and after the guy got clean clocked. There was just a pile up near like the end zone where they were just like all piled in punching each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I did see a few players had to be the one, not number 7 for Tulsa. I can't remember his name, but he had to be helped off the field by 2
He had
people.
a concussion-like incident.
Mhm.
They don't even want to say it was a concussion-like incident.
Like if you get hit that bad, like that's assault. Like
Yeah.
you can get slapped and that's assault. So
I mean, these are big burly men just
Yeah.
whomping on each other. These things are gonna hurt.
Oh yeah,
You're
like
not kidding.
Mhm.
after
The thing is,
60
though,
minutes
like,
of just
how do
beating the
you-
hell out of each other to suddenly be like, all right, game's over, and they get punched in the face. I think you might be like,
Right.
okay, what's going on?
yeah, the issue is I think that a lot of guys were just like riding for their brothers, didn't know why they were fighting, and they were just like, you hit my dude, I'll hit your dude. That sort of thing.
That's how most fights happen. It's kind of
Yeah.
like, well, I saw one guy
right.
get hit,
So it could
and now I'm
have
gonna
literally
swing.
started over a yo mama joke. Like
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I still don't think it should be assault.
Yeah,
There's
nobody's
hockey
gonna get
fights.
charged.
There's baseball fights. There's even, I mean, no one was charged
Hockey
with
fight
assault
just
for
get you 2
malice in
minutes
the
out.
palace.
Hey, I want to take a side note here real quick. If you guys have a TV by you and want to turn on ESPNU, currently are re-showing the Allstate Sugar Bowl from last night.
Oh, wonderful.
You guys want to watch that again?
I'll watch it again. Heck yeah.
I think any of us
Let's wrap
will
this
just
up real quick
rewatch
now.
it.
For those who missed it the first time.
All right. And then we'll get into those games yesterday.
Wait. I got a question for Sakyo.
All right, Brady,
Alright,
I'll
Yeah.
let you go.
So, is the ACC now overrated, though? That Notre Dame got blown out by Alabama and Clemson got blown out by Ohio State.
I don't think
Yes.
overrated because I don't think they were rated very highly outside of those two.
I
Um,
agree.
but-
The ACC itself was
It
nothing. but
now
that
looks
teams.
more like a well-rounded conference than
Yeah, it
anyone
looks more
previously.
well-rounded than the Big Ten or the Big 12, I think.
Mhm.
Big 12 did really perform well in their bowl games, but yeah, it is one, at least everyone's playing consistent and
I
around
do
the same
think that
level.
the ACC might be a conference to watch next season just because you have De'Aaron King coming back in Miami. Howell
Yeah.
may come back to North Carolina.
I think Howell will stick around for another year.
Hmm. And then you always have the Clemsons.
Clemson's quarterback, who none of us know how to say his
Yeah.
name.
DJ, 5-star recruit, is coming in, and he
Yeah.
may be a Heisman contender from day one. We don't know
Yeah.
yet. But,
And Notre Dame's still going to pull 5-star recruits, but
Mhm.
I think that they should be taken out of the top 4
And-
talk for a little bit because every time they go in, they get blown out.
A little
Here-
bit, but they
here's
should be taken out for the next decade.
Yeah.
Here's
now
a prediction.
seeing-
If you want to write it down, I don't care. Florida State will be a top 25 team on the shoulders of Mackenzie Milton.
I could see that. I
Is
wouldn't.
that
I
your
wouldn't
way
disagree
too
with that
early
point.
prediction for
That's my way too
2021?
early prediction.
Okay.
Way
He
too
is a
early
winner.
prediction.
And one,
So we're going to
Coastal
see
is top 10.
five ACC teams that are very good next year.
Yeah, I think we'll see.
one thing I saw that was very true, and I think I believe to be very true,
Mm.
is that whatever happens this year leads you into next year.
Oh,
So
100%.
you're not going to
Yeah.
consider a Cincinnati team that just lost for the playoffs next year because of what happened this year. You're not going to consider a Notre Dame next year
Mhm.
because of what happened this year. Notre Dame could be a totally different team next year. Does history tell us that? Probably not. But what if Notre Dame is the best team in the nation next year? But this year's blowout loss is really going to weigh into the
Yeah,
playoff
those
committee
initial
saying,
rankings.
I
Well,
don't
like,
think we
look
should
at-
really let even the final rankings. should we let Notre Dame in, who may not even produce a game?
Well, look at like the year, what was it? The year Ohio State didn't make the college football playoff, right after they won the national championship because they weren't Big Ten champs.
Yeah.
The year after that, they were again not Big Ten champs. Penn State was, and they got in and got blown out. So there is a lot to say about the name of a school and the rep that they get. It's like LSU. They had preseason top 10. They were ranked at the beginning of the year top 10, and they were not a top 10 team at all.
Yeah.
But because of the season before, they got more respect than they deserved.
But I mean, there were definitely calls that even we made that were definitely wrong. We all thought Wisconsin was going to be the real deal, and they seem to very much underperform this year.
Mm-hmm. I remember saying Graham Mertz may be a Heisman contender after week 2. He was looking that way, but
we all definitely made calls throughout the college football season that we were just way off with. Anytime we mentioned Chuba fucking Hubbard. Is it Chuba or is it Chuba? Because somebody said that on TV, and I'm like,
I believe it's Chuba.
I heard Chuba,
I've been
and I was
letting
like,
you say Chuba because I'm not entirely sure either.
Well, I heard Chuba last season and then Chuba this season, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Maybe he corrected people who were pronouncing it wrong.
Maybe. I don't know.
Like how Tyrod Taylor went his whole career saying, actually, it's Tyrod.
Or Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
Not Terrell.
But anyways, I was going to talk about this when we talked about Cincinnati, but I don't like bringing last season or what teams have done in the past into your season.
I agree.
I dislike the group of 5 narrative. I dislike it for so many reasons. I don't think Cincinnati should be left out because, 2 years ago, Houston. Okay, Houston, that's an entirely different program. That's entirely 5 years ago. I don't think Notre Dame should be held to that standard either. I don't think they should be, 3 years ago, we put them in and look what they did.
Yeah. But I think we're seeing them get put in on a very consistent basis, and
your
they are
program should
underperformed.
not stand for your entire conference. It should not stand for your entire group of 5 that is not even in your conference.
But is your argument give that you think Notre Dame wasn't good enough to make the top 4 this year? Because I definitely think they should have been in.
Notre Dame definitely deserved the spot this year just because I don't know who else you would have put in. It's same as I really questioned Ohio State going in, but I was like, who else goes in at this point?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think there are very good teams. It's just Notre Dame is slightly better, or at least
even though they
look slightly better, and then they end up losing a big game. And it's kind of like,
so you think that, hold on, sorry, I'm going back to Saka. You think that Notre Dame shouldn't have been in, even though they had 1 loss in their championship game all season long?
I think they lost to Clemson, and Texas A&M lost to Alabama. You've already proven that you're not it. You haven't beaten them. Give someone else the shot.
Yeah.
But they had beaten Clemson earlier in the season. I think that's the argument as to why they got in. Because they split. Like, I understand Trevor Lawrence wasn't there that game, but he isn't going to be the sole reason why his team wins or the sole reason why his team loses.
Yeah,
so I think that's why Notre Dame got in, because they split. Like, if they had lost both times, they're outdone. Bye.
Yeah.
But like, because they split, they were in.
I mean, that's just my personal thing. I would say there's 3 or 4 teams that all had an argument there. Who I would have picked. I think they're all the right choice, and you're going to have 3 wrong choices.
Yeah. Brandon?
Now think of it this way. So all of a sudden you go to 8 teams. Now you've totally eliminated that last season bias on what happened. You can let in a Notre Dame team. You could have let in a Cincinnati or a Oklahoma
Florida,
State or whoever
Oklahoma.
else. Yeah, Florida. You totally eliminate that by adding 4 more teams to the playoff.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. I think it's going to do the exact same thing that they said. Like they said, whenever they made the college football playoff, it'll give the group of 5 teams a chance to make the playoff. It doesn't. It literally has separated them even more. And with the group of 8, I think it's going to do the exact same thing.
I think the playoff as a system
has recruitment teams the best.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the teams that have made the playoffs, those are also the teams that recruit the best. Period. So it's just going to separate those teams even more. Like, I love the idea of having a bigger playoff, but I don't think using the argument that it'll help the group of 5 teams is valid. I don't think that's going to be a thing at all.
And as Brandon has said, every time we talk about the bowl games, it comes down to the money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Money
Viewership,
talks.
that's all they're looking
Bigger
for.
programs are going to get a ton of money out of it and become even better. And that's what I said a few weeks ago. It's becoming a problem where these really good schools get a ton more money, then they can recruit a ton more, and they get a lot better, and everyone else gets about half as good as those big 3 or 4 schools. So everyone's having to play catch up, and it's never going to happen. So we will see the same 6 or 7 schools always be at the top.
Now, I have something to bring up. I want to kind of change topics. I know Aaron might help discuss this one, but to me, the testing protocols for teams in the college football playoff and everywhere else are totally inconsistent. And I want to mention, too, where I was watching the Alabama game, and so many players that weren't playing and didn't have pads on, or so many fans didn't wear masks, or then you got Clemson, who's done testing 2 days before the game. I believe it was 2 days. And then Ohio State having 2 rounds to go, including a noon test period the day of the game. That is a huge influence on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that before we started recording, that the inconsistency in the college football playoffs is a really big deal. Like, mentally getting a thing shoved up your nose multiple times a day or a week, like, that's going to be draining after doing it all season long. So the fact that I think Clemson stopped their testing on either
3 days before.
Yeah, I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, so it would have been
So, like,
2 or 3 days
that's
before.
potentially 3 or 4 tests that Ohio State took more of.
Yeah.
I think that it should have been a uniform. If you're in the college football playoffs, you do it this way.
Yeah, you get
and I
tested
also
these
think
times on these days.
Yeah,
right,
this
I
is
also
where
think it starts at the top.
the
though.
NCAA, the committee, whoever wants to step up, they need to step up and say, if you want to be in, this is how you need to do it.
I agree.
Because
I think it should have been a decision made before it started.
One team, one program could ruin that entire playoff.
Yeah, the NCAA loves to bash on kids for making some money, but as soon as, COVID testing comes around, they're like,
yeah,
go do what you want.
Like, what happens if Clemson gets test results tomorrow and half the team had tested positive? Does that mean that the championship game's off because that they contaminate Ohio State, so Ohio State doesn't have a chance to play? Like, that's the issue of it all. It needs to be consistent to give the teams and the guys a chance to play.
Yeah.
Like, I know that it sucks. I've gotten tested myself twice and I hated it both times. I couldn't imagine doing it every single day. Like, I get that.
And you got to think about it bigger than the game, too. It's the safety of people. It's lives are
It's
risk.
the safety of your players and your fans.
Yes. It's so much bigger than just a game, and we got to remember that, too, is that it's not just inconsistency in testing and potentially who could be out, what big name isn't going to play this game, and what implications that has on the game, but what implications that has on those that are now positive and or sick.
And we still don't know long-term effects. There was that study that from Penn State that said half the players that had it had reoccurring heart problems later on, and we don't know how long that lasts. So it's so much more than missing one game.
Yeah, that could affect anybody's chance at ever making the NFL if all of a sudden you're having lung problems that are affecting your endurance or stamina, anything like that.
Any health issue.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of telling, like, when it comes to the games, when you see the coaches and the players on the sideline, whenever they come off, if they put their mask on right away, or like there were so many coaches yesterday that their mask was not over their nose, or their mask was over their nose, but not over their mouth. Like,
yeah,
come on, you got to be responsible to lead these men. Like, they are still young. Like, the whole team's younger than me, basically.
Yeah.
So they are in their formative years, and you have to take that stuff seriously. Like, not to be rude, but Nick Saban literally took his mask down when I can't hear you, started yelling, and got closer than 6 feet to a person on TV. That's not a good look at all. Like, what happens if that announcer tests positive now? Does that mean Nick Saban's out? Because they were in close contact without masks.
Yeah.
Like, you got to think about stuff like that.
Yeah, and it definitely is unique. And another thing is how it affects the families of these players. We saw Dalvin Cook, his dad passed away sadly, and his brother plays for Georgia. Georgia starting running back. He missed the game. That could have changed that Cincy-Georgia game to not even being close if he's still there. And you're not only concerned about your players and your fans, but just the families of the fans and of the players that are there. Karl Anthony Towns having lost 6 family members in a year to COVID. That messes with your mentality.
Emotional trauma.
Yeah. Why would you want to play whenever in the past 6-7 months you've lost 6 family members to COVID? Right now, playing a basketball game wouldn't be my biggest concern. It'd be, oh my God, like planning funerals, providing for my family.
Yeah.
Wow, this got really somber really quick.
It got really sad, and yeah, that's.
No, but it's true, and
it's a sad truth that we need to talk about.
Thinking, yeah, if you're thinking sports, yeah, that's one thing, but you also got to look at the bigger picture of people's lives are at risk. And I listened to ESPN put out they did their little New Year's thing, and they did the 2020 thing. Well, they also made the 2020 podcast. I love podcasts. I listen to them all the time, so I listened to it, and like they were just talking about the implications of this and like how the NBA really set the precedent by shutting down the season to really make people take this seriously. Like Rudy Gobert testing positive may have saved tens of thousands of lives because they stopped packing people in the arena.
Yeah. Oddly enough, him not taking COVID seriously saved a ton of lives and helped save an NBA season.
Yeah.
That being said, his teammates now really hate him, but I mean, like apparently Donovan Mitchell still doesn't talk to him.
That's why he left.
Yeah.
Well, and it's even bigger than
Gobert's
basketball.
still in Utah. What do you mean? What do you mean he left, Aaron?
Did Mitchell get traded?
No, they're both still on the Jazz.
Oh God, dude!
He wants to be traded.
He doesn't want to be there because they just extended Gobert for 5 years and $41 million a year.
I remember seeing something. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
I could see him leaving though. Why stay whenever you hate your teammate that they just extended?
Yeah.
Well, it's bigger than basketball though. Like when basketball shut down, the MLB decided that they were going to postpone the season. Like it was a ripple effect.
Yeah.
So
MLB was like, hey, we're just going to do no fans and still have all the games happen. But then there was the issue of...
if it was an NHL team, the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB would not have paid as close of attention.
Yeah.
Like, that.
And
the media wouldn't have paid
That's what they talked about, right? So the NBA is really a formidable leader when it comes to the large professional sports. Whatever the NBA does, the NHL is going to follow. The MLB is going to take a notice. The NFL
isn't going to do anything,
but they're going to take notice as well. Right. But the NBA really does have a big power pool. Like, obviously you guys know what I meant there, not like a power pool.
Right.
They have a heavy influence.
But Adam Silver has really done a great job of leading not only the NBA, but the other professional sports on what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. MLS did a bubble for a big tournament, and NHL did 2 bubbles, one for an East, one for a West, and then had them come together. MLB just took fans out, but then there was the issues with guys like Clevenger and other guys just still going out and not listening to any protocols. And really
but
they
reworked the season too to geographically. That way teams wouldn't have to travel as far.
You decrease travel time.
That's what
which
the NBA is doing this season. Yeah.
And the NFL did something without doing anything. Oh man, they can't do the jersey swaps to the end. Well, they were just breathing on each other for 60 minutes. So let's not act like you're trying to do anything real progressive here. And and that is the thing. We're seeing most of the cases coming from the NFL where they're still allowing fans in. They're still close contact. People are still doing everything they're doing.
Still going out to the club.
Yeah. Dwayne Haskins getting cut from his team because he can't, lead the strip.
Apparently the same with Alvin Kamara. He's going to be out this week, and he was out. There's a photo of him with 3 women.
Yeah, or James Harden, who gets caught with no mask on at a strip club, and I was promoting my friend's business. All right, well, your friend's still at a strip club. Let's not try and fancy this up.
Jimmy Harden's just different, bro.
He's going to Portland. Most strip clubs per capita.
Well, it was like, what's his name? Whenever he left the NBA bubble, he went to a strip club and he said, no, I was going for the wings.
Lou Williams. Yeah, I saw a picture of the wings. I don't blame him. I don't. But if he was going for the wings, I saw him and I was like, those look really good. I would leave a
I'm
bubble to
sorry.
get those chicken wings.
I'm not going to no strip club ever. One, I'm not going to a strip club, and two, I'm not going to strip club for no food. I'm gonna
Exactly.
go find food. Hog
I mean,
Heavenly
even if
or
those wings are
somewhere else
fire,
with some solid
I know
wings.
for a fact you can get there. They have to let you have food delivered in there.
Yeah, apparently strip club wings in Atlanta and like a lot of like larger cities, wings and all the food is really good. That's what I
Even if they
heard
don't do
in
For sure.
podcasts with McAfee and other
you
guys. I'm
call a
like,
friend
okay.
to drop it off at the front gate and then
Yep.
dress them up as a DoorDash person. They don't know.
Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
pepper. What was it? Lemon pepper Pete
Yeah,
or lemon pepper Lou. That's what it was.
lemon pepper Lou.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all the news we got. We covered a lot of the stuff I wanted to talk about.
Last night games.
And we did get kind of serious there for a sec. We'll get into our college games first. We got the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, NC State versus Kentucky. Kentucky doesn't look to have a dominant pass or run in their scheme. They kind of run 50-50, and it's not really well with either of them. And I don't think they can win. NC State does have 2 less turnovers and a slightly worse defense, but they have a very good pass game, and that's how you're going to win it. That's what it comes down to, having one thing that you can consistently rely on. So I'm going to take the Wolfpack win in this one. Aaron?
I'm next, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't really care about this game at all. So
Yeah.
I don't have any implications. I do think Kentucky is more of a basketball school, and they have decent talent, but they're not up to par with anyone else in the SEC or anything like that. I definitely think that NC State's going to take this one simply because they actually have an offense that like works.
Brady?
I'm also going to take NC State. I think they just look like the better team. Like you said, they have a really good passing game, and that's how you win. So,
All right, Sacco?
Yep, I'm taking NC State as well. Kentucky's played a lot of teams close, but they haven't been able to pull out a win yet. I don't think it changes.
All right, Brandon?
I'm gonna go with NC State. Keep it simple. Keep it short.
All right, and Aaron?
NC State takes that. Kentucky just has not been performing.
All right, right across the board. All right, so next up we got the Outback Bowl, Ole Miss versus Indiana. Indiana will be out. We'll be without Penix Jr., but Jack Tuttle looked very good in his game against Wisconsin. And but the thing is, I don't think there's enough evidence for me to say that he's going to be the reason they win. I think the reason Indiana gets this win is that strong defense they have that is limiting a lot of teams similar to Ole Miss to under 2 touchdowns a game. And even with the impressive stats that Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral puts up, it's not enough for me to believe that they'll win this. I'm going to take the Hoosiers winning it.
Yeah, I'm riding with the Big Ten, so Indiana all the way.
All right, Brady?
yeah, I'm also going to take Indiana. I think they've just looked good this year, and they played a really good game against Ohio State, so I'm going to take Indiana.
All right. Sacco?
Well, without Penix Jr., that's going to hurt. But we've seen where the defense has stepped up. That's really what's winning Indiana these games. But we also have to remember they haven't played in a month. Their last game was against Wisconsin on the 5th.
That is very true.
So I don't know if Ole Miss wins it. I still think I take Indiana, but I think they will look rusty, especially not being at this stage often.
Yeah. All right, Brandon?
Got to roll with the Big Ten.
All right.
Have to. If you're a Big Ten fan, you got to roll with the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Aaron?
Indy on this one, man. Ole Miss just can't do it.
All right. Crossword. So now this has eliminated the possibility of me passing Brady in the most correct picks this week. If we pick these next 2 games different, then I can tie him. All right, next up we got the Fiesta Bowl, the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, Oregon versus Iowa State. Breece Hall is an amazing running back, and I think we see that in the AP polls, putting him as running back number 2 behind Najee Harris. And I even brought that up before I saw the polls. I thought these 2 are competing back and forth for who's going to be the best running back this year. I think it goes to Najee Harris. Next year, it is Breece Hall's for the taking. Najee Harris will be in the NFL. Breece Hall is probably going to be on his last year for the NFL. And I think that that's going to be how you get a win. Oregon has a pretty sturdy defense, and I still think Breece Hall is going to be able to get through them pretty easily. And Iowa State still has the best defense in the Big 12. You could make the case for Oklahoma after that Florida game, but Florida was also out all of their starting receivers who had opted out, so that definitely plays an impact. I'm going to take Iowa State winning this one. They just seem to be the much more dominant team in this game.
I'm going to switch it up and go with Oregon. Granted, they haven't played very many games this season, but the Oregon State game, everything was clicking. And if they have another game like that, I think they got this one easy. So it's all about having your best game at the best time, like Ohio State did last night. So I'm going to ride with Oregon.
All right.
I'm going to go with Iowa State. I think that it'll be a close game, but I think the Cyclones will pull it off in the end.
All right, Sacco.
I'm going with Oregon. I do love Breece Hall and Brock Purdy. I think between quarterback, running back combos, they're some of the tops in the nation. But we saw against Oklahoma, they did get exposed. That was a very ugly game for a while. Granted, they closed the gap, but they did not look like a top 10 team during the first half of that game. Now, Oregon, they've only played 6 games, just like Ohio State has. Iowa State's played 11. You get some fresh legs in there. I think that's also a big reason Ohio State won. They didn't have those 5 extra games.
Yeah, less
So
wear and
being
tear.
rested does help. And that's why I'm taking Oregon.
All right. Wait, you're taking Oregon?
I'm going with Iowa State.
I said Oregon, yeah.
Okay. I thought you started with
I'm going to go with Iowa
again.
State for the exact opposite reason of Sacco, and that Iowa State has played more games, giving them a better chance of fine-tuning their defense and offense and really showing what they have.
All right. And Aaron?
I'm going with Oregon State for the same reason as Aaron. I mean, what she said is exactly what I was thinking.
All right.
Hey, we got some news. Tom Herman just got fired.
Tom Herman got fired?
Texas coach Tom Herman fired.
Less than 2 weeks after they said Herman's our guy?
And he won. That's the thing that makes
And
it weirder. Why fire him after he just won you the bowl game?
Because they'll be a
he didn't
preseason
let
top
him
10,
go to the
out, and come back at 20, win their bowl game, be a preseason top 10, fall out, come back to 20, win their bowl game.
No, they don't want bowl game wins. They want college football playoff wins.
Yeah, and I get that's a big deal.
And according to Colin Cowherd, Alabama offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian is expected to be the new head coach of Texas after replacing Tom Herman.
All right, so we already know the Alabama. Huh. So that
man's been there forever. I honestly thought that he had a verbal agreement with Alabama that when Nick Saban retires in 3 years that he would be the head coach. I honestly thought that was it. Now that's why he's been there for so long.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah.
That's according to Colin Cowherd. I'm assuming he's got sources that have told him that or that he's right.
Yeah,
it could change. It could be a little different, but I would think he's probably pretty darn close to the source there.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
That is right before Black Monday too, where we'll see a lot of NFL coaches be let go. So I think that we're going to see a big change up with some of the college guys, maybe trying to get a former NFL coach.
Yep.
But some of them, I don't think Anthony Lynn or Adam Gase land anywhere as a head coach right now.
No.
Clock management and poor coaching is going to be the thing that kills you there. But there are other coaches in the NFL right now that I think if they are let go on Monday after regular season, will probably find a place in college football. And I think we will see some college coaches find a place in the pros for right now.
Harbaugh.
Yeah, he needs to go back to the NFL. He needs to go back. All right.
He can stay at Michigan for all I care. I don't care.
Hey, if he stays at Michigan, we get to keep.
I hope he gets a long-term extension at Michigan. I'm talking another 5-6 years would be great.
Yeah. All right. So the last college football game we'll talk about until the national championship next week is the Capital One Orange Bowl. We got A&M versus UNC. A&M has been talking a whole lot the past couple weeks, saying they should have been over Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was their quarterback or their head coach saying we deserve the spot over them. It's just been a lot of talk. But I don't think they have what it takes to beat UNC this week today. let alone one of those playoff teams. I think UNC is such a dynamic offense, getting around 500 yards every game. That is incredible stats to have, regardless of conference, to get 500 yards a game. Sam Howell is doing really well. Their running back is very much, I think, a second or third round guy that's going to take over a team. But I don't think A&M's going to be able to keep up. I think defensively and offensively, these teams are very similar. I don't think A&M's defense or offense can be able to keep rolling as UNC's has all season. So I'm going to take the Tar Heels winning this.
My heart of hearts wants A&M to lose just so they can shut up. But I think that they're coming into it really angry and they have a lot more to prove. So I think that's what's going to help them get the win. So I'm going to go with A&M, even though I'm not feeling it very much at all.
All right. Brady?
Oh, this is a tough decision, but I got to take A&M. You're lucky, but okay. I think they just look good this year, and I think that they'll come out ready to play and get the win.
All right. Sacco?
I'm reading that UNC is going to be without two of their best running backs against A&M. But Breece Hall and Brock Purdy were one of my favorite QB running back combos. North Carolina has my other, but if they're without them, I think Texas A&M.
Howell and Michael Carter.
Mm-hmm.
So wait.
I will go on record. I will say A&M.
Yeah.
I won't attach the conditional to it.
I was going to say, that's what you were doing again.
Give me a final answer on this, Sock. We're not doing this again.
It won't be official, but just so the fans know, I think UNC is the more talented program. They should win this game. But who
will win this game, Sock? Say it. Who will win this game?
A&M.
All right. Brandon?
I'm on the same boat. I don't want A&M to win, but they're definitely the one with more to prove and more to say, hey, we should have been in. And they could be saying, hey, we should have been in over Notre Dame, bump everyone up, throw us at the 4 seed, and then let us play Alabama. So I think they have more to prove, and I think they're going to win it. I really would love to see UNC win this, but I think it's Texas A&M.
All right. And Aaron?
After hearing that those two running backs are out,
They got one running back out.
Quick change. One.
No, there's two.
Yeah, I was going to say, he definitely said two.
Yeah.
I think he said one of the two.
No, my ears don't deceive me. I'm different like that. But I was going to say UNC. After hearing that, though, A&M's going to win that game as much as I don't want them to.
Yeah, based off of that, I'm also going to change to A&M. I thought they still at least had one running back.
You get to change your decision?
I will change my decision based off the fact that we're still on the show and this information just was found out by me. So this isn't a conditional, Sock. Hop off.
You should do some research. Aaron already made his pick. We're done with that pick. We moved on.
All right, fine. I will stick with UNC then. I will
listen,
say I'm sticking with UNC. I'm not going to be a little hoe like Sock and be like, no, there's a conditional. I picked both, so I'm right no matter what.
I didn't pick both. I picked the winner.
You did. you said the biggest conditional ever.
Gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
Yep, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
All right, so we'll get into the NFL games now. First up, we got the Steelers-Browns. We'll start off with the team I think a lot of us know and love. I think the Browns get this one. Mason Rudolph's in at the starting quarterback. I think that we've seen what happens whenever he's up against the Browns. I don't have a helmet to swing right now, but he's definitely going to be feeling the pressure from everyone but Myles Garrett because I think that line's going to focus on blocking him. So I think everyone else is going to have it. What was that?
Do you have a twisted tee you can hit him with?
Nah.
Instead of a helmet?
Yeah, but I do think that Steelers defense has been exposed in the past couple weeks against subpar offenses as being not that good. And I think that that's how the Browns get the win and lock in their playoff spot this week.
I think the Browns are going to win because they're just the better team. But the issue I have is Ben Roethlisberger has looked like actual dog crap for the past few weeks, and Mason Rudolph might be an improvement. So with that being said, I think it's going to be a close game. But I think the Browns are going to pull it out because they have more to play for.
Yeah.
All right, here. Going with the Browns. Big Ben out. Juju not doing his dances anymore. Was getting rocked by Von Bell.
No, now they do it in the
I
locker
never-
room
Mhm.
Oh, well, that's okay. Yep.
with
Did
no
Juju-
masks and don't get any fines. Yeah, that was the big headline from last week's game against the Colts. So the Saints were fined for celebrating in the locker room after the game, no masks, eating the W. Pittsburgh then does their dance after the game where they win against the Colts. No fines are handed out or anything. None of them wearing masks, very close proximity.
All right, but I think it might be a little bit of a close game, but the Browns are always going to win because the Browns are 20 years of shame, and now they're doing good. So go Browns.
Finally,
And it
take
would be the
paper
year
bag
for the
off.
Browns to make the playoffs and Ohio State to make the national championship where no one can be there. So
Yeah.
sounds
Hey,
pretty.
2021 might
pretty
be
on
a
point.
year like 2016. We never know yet.
Who knows?
They're like, COVID's out. They can't burn the cities down if they're locked inside.
No, not yet.
This was all a part of the master plan. They didn't
That's
want
why
Cleveland to
DeWine wants
burn.
the shutdown. That's why he's got
Yeah.
the curfew.
Save the city.
All right,
I'm
so
taking Cleveland as well. Last time they played, they were down Chubb. They were down their offensive line. And with all the pieces together, it's an entirely different game.
all right.
And all the wide receivers are back now.
Yeah,
Yeah, for real.
you're out a tight end, a cornerback, and I think a linebacker this week, and one of our coaches. I didn't see who it was. They just announced a second coach tested positive
Wait, who?
for the Browns. They are tight ends coach tested positive, and then they just said another coach tested positive. Did not disclaim which one it was.
Oh.
All right, so Brandon.
I think you got to roll with the Browns here. I don't think Mason Rudolph is that much of an improvement. I think he's still definitely a deduction from where Big Ben is. And I really think that with Mason Rudolph in there, he can't rely on a run game because there is no run game with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're pass only, pass first, pass second, pass third. They don't run the ball at all. And when they do, it's nothing substantial like the Browns can do. I think the Browns are more dynamic, and I think they're going to win.
All right, Aaron.
Yeah, the Browns are winning that one. I mean, Myles Garrett might pop off, and pop Rudolph's helmet off. Honestly,
He's popping somebody.
that is if Rudolph doesn't keep his mouth shut this game. But I mean, the Browns are winning that. I will be genuinely surprised if they don't.
Yeah, that definitely would be an upset. Even though Steelers are locked into a playoff
It
spot,
would
I
be the
think
most
that they are.
Cleveland thing ever to go 10-6 and miss the playoff
It would
Yeah.
be the most Cleveland thing.
in a
It's
year
kinda
that they
on
added
brand.
another playoff spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we got the Dolphins at Buffalo. Fitzmagic's out. Tua's going to be their quarterback. He has been shown to have streaks of a very good quarterback and potential to be a big QB in the NFL. But with it being January in Buffalo, it's conditions that you haven't played in before. You're going to be in a whole new ball game playing in the snow. And Buffalo hasn't made any announcements on whether or not they're benching any of their starters. So this could be Tua versus Josh Allen. And I think if that is the case, 100% Buffalo wins it with Josh Allen's in. Even without him in, I think it's going to be a very close game, but Buffalo's going to win it. Miami is my one team out.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Buffalo too, but I would say a lot of it has to do with conditions and weather. I don't know if Tua's ever played a game in the snow in his career. So I think that's definitely going to be a big hurdle for them to get over. So yeah, I'm going with Buffalo.
Yep, I'm also going with Buffalo. No matter what, if Josh Allen plays or if he doesn't, it's always going to be Buffalo. It comes out on top. So go Buffalo.
I did
I
just
won't
check the
attach
weather
a
conditions in Buffalo.
conditional
It
to
is
this
supposed to
either.
snow.
No, I'm looking. Their backup quarterback is Matt Barkley,
All right.
who is not good, but
Yeah. He did go in for the
He's
last
still a
quarter of that
backup.
Patriots game and still did pretty well.
yeah, I'm not sure if they're benching. I haven't heard anything. I can't find anything if they're benching Allen. or
McDermott
Diggs.
said you're not going to know until the game starts.
And I won't attach a conditional. I'll say Buffalo, but Miami has with Tua can win this with if Matt Barkley is under center.
Yeah. All right, Brandon.
If I'm not mistaken, we're on the Bills in Miami, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Ryan Fitzpatrick is out
Yeah.
with COVID. And I think that's going to have a big implication on this game because I don't think he's ready. And I think Fitzpatrick is really that rock he needs to be able to step in there in these big moments and really like be that calming, figure, I guess you'd call it. Even though he's far from calm when he's in, he's the most energetic player I think I've seen.
Their dynamic is actually
watch.
super cool. Tua's and Fitzmagic, like they're like brothers. It's I
it's
like
not
that.
the typical rookie mentor situation. He knows he has the starting job. It's not when he was benched last week. It wasn't that he was getting benched. It's that Fitzmagic put them in a better position to win.
Yeah, and if you can change your quarterback out,
and then he doesn't think that
running a two.
I think
he lost his job.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with Buffalo here. I really think with Fitzpatrick being out, that's definitely a big blow to Miami and to Tua. So I'm going to go with Buffalo.
All right, Aaron.
Yeah, the Bills are taking that dub. Miami's not ready for that. Tua, he's not going to be able to pull through. I mean, I forget who said this. I saw it somewhere. It said something like throwing in Tua for the first half and then Fitzmagic for the second half as like a relief pitcher, essentially.
Yeah,
something like
what
that.
That's what they did last week.
Yeah, exactly. And it works really well, surprisingly. I mean, but they're not going to be able to do that this week, obviously.
Yeah.
And the Bills they're good. They are. So they're winning.
All right. So
they're going to score more points. They're going to win.
Yeah. The key to winning
What a
any game is
good
scoring more
analysis.
points than the other guys.
Exactly.
All right. So next up, we got Baltimore at Cincinnati. The Bengals dick slapped the Steelers 2 weeks ago. Nobody saw that one coming, and that is something that needs to be kept in mind. But Baltimore, if they have everyone healthy, it's no contest. If you can keep Lamar in, if you can keep Ingram and Dobbins healthy, it's all Baltimore's game. We saw against the Browns, they can get high scores going against a defense that isn't ready, and I don't think Cincinnati has certain pieces of their defense ready enough to take on a mobile quarterback like Lamar. I'm going to take Baltimore winning this one.
They took on Deshaun Watson last week.
But he also has nothing helping him. It is Deshaun and a bunch of guys that probably will get cut next season. All right, so Aaron or EP?
I'm gonna go with the Ravens too. I just don't think the Bengals have anything to play for other than a better draft pick. So I don't think they mind losing. And I think the Ravens just overall talent wise and like team cohesive wise play better, and they're playing for the last playoff spot anyway, so they have to win to get in. So Ravens.
All right, Brady.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Ravens. I think that Cincinnati played a really good game against the Steelers, but I think Lamar's just way too much for the weak defensive. Not really weak, but they're not that great. Because even Cleveland's defense, not the greatest, but they couldn't really stop Lamar either. So I'm just going to take Baltimore.
All right, Sacco.
I'm taking Baltimore as well. I don't think it's a talent thing. They did shut down Deshaun Watson. They did shut down Ben and that Steelers offense. But I think they do see that their draft pick is slipping away, and they need to start thinking about protecting Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're taking Baltimore?
Yep.
All right, Brandon?
You got to go Baltimore. You know, like EP said, I mean, the Bengals have nothing to play for but a better draft pick and to protect Joe Burrow more, who is currently out because he wasn't protected in the first place. If you're the Ravens, you got to win. You got to win to have a chance to be in. So I think they have a lot more to play for here, and I think both teams have a lot to play for in the opposite direction. Bengals have to play for a loss. The Ravens have to play for a win. So I think it's really important for the Ravens to win this and the Bengals to lose, which is the perfect setup. I got Ravens.
All right, Aaron?
Yeah, the Ravens are winning that one. I mean, it's not that Cincinnati's defense is bad or anything like that, but they're going to try to lose. There's no sense in them trying to win this one, honestly. That's pointless for them.
They do love to play spoiler. I mean, they did value a Steelers win on Monday night over their draft pick.
Right. So next, all right. So we're on our last 6 picks. I don't think this should take a whole lot of time. We got Dallas in New York. Cowboys are on a hot streak. Andy Dalton has looked pretty impressive. The Red Rifle, the Red Rocket, whatever his nickname is.
The Red Rock.
I don't think that's the right one,
man.
but he's looked pretty good subbing in for Dak. I think Danny Dimes too inconsistent for me, and I think the Giants should take a new quarterback. I'm going to take the Cowboys winning it, and they're going to be my NFC East team in.
Yeah, I'm actually going with the same thing. I think the Cowboys thought halfway through the season they were going to tank, and then all of a sudden they realized their division sucks just as bad as them.
Yep.
So they had a shot at the playoffs, and they said, why the heck not? So, yeah, I'm going with Cowboys. I think they get the win today.
All right, Brady.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Cowboys. I think it'll be a close game, but I think the Cowboys get it done with Andy Dalton and whatever his nickname is.
I think it's the Red Rifle. I'm 99% sure it's not the Red Rocket, but
I'm taking Dallas as well. They have nothing to gain from tanking. They're arm's reach of a playoff spot, and you don't need a pick. Even if you are bad, you're getting Dak back. You're going to have Zeke back. Zeke's been in the season pretty shaky. He'll bounce back. So you're in, even if you're bad this year, you're making the playoffs. You're getting some experience here, and you're going to bounce right back next season.
all right, Brandon.
Everyone seems to have frozen on my laptop,
Yeah.
so I can't see anyone.
All
But,
right, you're good.
but rolling with, I'm gonna actually go with the Giants here. I think I agree that Dallas has a lot more to play for here, but I mean, look at the Giants. The Giants really don't have a lot to lose either. I mean, they're not going to get a better draft pick by losing. They're not going to get a playoff implication by winning. But they have something to prove that, hey, you know what? I mean, we're still rebuilding, but we're decent, and I think their fan base deserves that. So I think I'm going to go with the Giants here.
All right, Aaron.
Respectable.
I'm with Brandon on this one. The Giants are taking the cake on that. I really don't think Dallas can pull through. They're garbage. That's enough said. They have 2 receivers. That's all they have.
Yeah, that is a very good point. Actually, I do think Tony Pollard has pulled through as a solid running back where Zeke has very much lacked this year.
Zeke has, I mean, dude's overrated. He always has been, in my
It's hard to
opinion.
run fast when your pockets are full of money.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't – the feed me tattoo across his stomach was a bold move.
He's become a very bold man.
He's become a very big man. He's turning into the next Eddie Lacy at this rate.
It's easy to be bold when you got a boatload of money and not a care in the world. Doesn't
Exactly.
need to
Like,
be
I think
paid
he's
ever
living
again
his
in
best life.
Yeah. And with the longevity of running backs, he probably realized they extended me for too much money. I'm pretty much done in the NFL after this point. I won't make a ton of money. Why risk injury? Just kind of coast at this point.
I don't know if anybody really thinks like that when they're a professional athlete, but sure.
Yeah, I'm not
I
ever.
would.
I don't think. I think you always have that competitive
Well,
edge.
that's why
in
you're
you.
not a professional athlete.
You always have that
That's
competitive edge,
facts.
but it's also kind of like knowing, man, I haven't been able to perform as well. Injuries or anything like that could be a factor. It is something that you kind of got to be. All right, I'm a running back. I'm this old. Frank Gore isn't like, man, I'm a ball for 1,000 yards. He's going, they're still paying me. I still got to show up to practice Monday. But yeah, that is something that longevity is something, and I think Pollard probably will take over as their next guy, and he seems to be able to get it done. All right, Brandon, we got you back.
Yep.
Yeah, we lost him there for a sec.
Kinda.
Staring at that screen
You still
pretty
have
hard,
me
man.
audio wise.
All
We
right.
can see you.
Yep.
All right.
We're good.
So we still got we got your still face in your audio, so we're good.
Yeah, this is
But
kind
next
of
up-
horrifying.
That's all you need. That's all you
He's
need.
staring into my soul. I'm starting to get uncomfortable with it. But next up,
No,
we got
you're
the-
back. You're moving now. You're
All right,
fine.
we're good. Yeah. All right. Next up, we got the Packers.
What game are we on? I'm sorry.
Packers at Bears. It's Aaron Rodgers versus Mitch Trubisky. Easy call here. Mitch the bitch won't be able to get it done. I'm trusting Aaron Rodgers to get this done. Go Packers.
Yeah, I'm going with the Packers too. I think it's more of the experience and the fact that they've been in a position like this before. So
yeah,
I think the Packers get the win easy.
Yep, I'm also going to go with Green Bay. It's not even a question if they're going to win. If Aaron Rodgers playing the way he is, probably going to be the next MVP, next Madden cover. Who knows? but I'm going Green Bay.
I don't think he's been the Madden cover yet.
Yes. No,
No, he
you're
hasn't.
right.
Brett Favre was the
it was
last
Favre,
Packer that was
yeah.
the Madden cover.
I knew there was a Packers quarterback on it.
Yeah,
But,
it was back whenever Favre was there.
Which wasn't that long ago.
It was. We're getting on like
11 years.
He just got inducted into the Hall of Fame like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
So that's 8 years
7 years
from the
out.
NFL.
Yeah, that means he's only 7 years out. You have to be 5 years removed to get into the Hall of Fame.
Plus 2 or 3 years. Yeah, so 7 or 8. That's still a long time, though.
That's not that long.
That's whenever he retired. The last time he was with the Packers, probably another 3 or 4 seasons before that. Because remember, he played in New York and in Minnesota. And yeah, that whole thing where he played for the Jets. The picture of his penis got leaked, and then he went to Minnesota.
The Giants. Gotcha.
And he retired and unretired twice.
That was only 2 years, though.
Yeah.
Right?
It was 2 years with the Jets.
2
years with the Jets, 2 years with the Vikings.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm retiring. Never mind. I'm retiring. Never mind. Oh, wait,
twice.
there's a picture of my wiener on the internet. Okay, I better retire.
All right. Yeah, I'm going
Nice.
All right, taking the Packers, Sacco.
Yeah. They're fighting for their first seed.
Packers. For that bye
first
week.
Round bye.
Yep.
All right.
Brandon said Packers too.
Yeah, and Aaron?
Packers, man. It's not a question.
It's a pretty easy call. All right, so now we're into the 4 o'clock games, I believe. We got Jaguars at Colts. Jaguars suck. That's why they have the #1 pick. I think they got really lucky that first week against Indy. I really hate Phillip Rivers. I want him to be replaced this year. So part of me saying, miss the playoffs, get the good draft pick, and take a quarterback for God's sake. And the other part is like, no, we can make it. We can do this. All we have to do is beat Jacksonville, which should be easy. I'm going to trust the Colts. I don't think Phillip Rivers will get them far, but the Colts are going to win and make their playoff spot.
Yeah, I think the Colts are going to win too, but more because the Jags don't want to win and the Colts want to make the playoffs. So it's like they're working in the same direction. They both want the same result. So I think that's why the Colts.
Well, Jacksonville doesn't need a loss anymore. They're
Jacksonville's locked in their pick.
Yeah, you
I
could
thought
win.
it was
You could
contingent
win
on this game.
No, they could win and throw Indy out of the playoffs and give Indy a better draft pick. So yeah, you could do.
Do you think that they want that though?
I don't think they have the ability to do it.
Yeah.
I'm also going to take the Colts. I think that the last time that they lost to the Jags was very unlucky. Gardner Minshew played like Gardner Minshew that game, but I think that they're going to kill the Jags. And the Jags are going to suck, so they get that 1 pick.
All right, Sacco.
If they were starting Gardner Minshew, I'd say it's the Jaguars because they have their pick. They want nothing more than to knock the Colts out. But they're starting Glennon, and they're without their starting running back. I'm going Colts.
Brandon?
Colts have more to win off of this. Jags don't care. Colts.
All right, Aaron?
Yeah. Colts are going to actually try. The Jaguars are just going to go in and be like, well, we got the first pick.
Hey, we participated in all 17 weeks. All right, so next up, we got Cardinals at Rams. This one, with Chicago losing, the winner of this makes it into the playoffs. Since we all took Chicago losing, the winner of this game will be the 7 seed for the wild card. For me, Aaron Donald is the biggest aspect of this game. Goff and Murray are playing around similar levels. I do think Goff is a step below maybe, but they do have a slightly better run game than Arizona, I think. But Aaron Donald is that game changer in any situation, no matter who you're playing. He is a killer, and I think that's how the Rams get the win and make it in as a 7 seed.
I'm going with the Cardinals, simply because I like Larry Fitzgerald and I think he deserves the playoffs. But that's, a personal opinion. Game-wise, I agree. The quarterbacks have been playing super similar, but I think offensively, Murray has more threats around him. It's all going to come down to defensive stops in this game. So I'm still going with the Cardinals, but
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Cardinals. I think it'll be a really close game, but I think DeAndre Hopkins and Fitz will be too hard for the secondary of the Rams. So,
all right, Sacco.
See, I don't like the Rams because they looked hapless against the Jets, but I don't like the Cardinals because they looked hapless against the 49ers. I don't think the secondary has a problem with Hopkins. I think Jalen Ramsey is still one of the best cornerbacks in the league. I think I'm taking the Rams this week.
All right, Brandon.
For everything that Sacco just said, I completely agree with.
All right.
I'm going with the Rams.
And Aaron.
You see, I would go with the Rams because their defense is amazing. But Murray has D-Hop and Fitzgerald out there to just throw it in the air, just be like, he's over there somewhere. That's a catch every time.
Take his baby legs and just heave it, and somebody will
Literally
be there to catch it.
I mean, he'll be like, oh, where's D-Hop? He was running that route. Just throw it in that general direction. That's a catch.
All right.
Cardinals win it.
All right, I think that's the biggest split we've had in this entire show. All right, next up we got the Texans hosting the Titans. Derrick Henry is a wrecking ball. It is difficult to stop him, and it seems like the key to stopping him is a great front four.
Mm-hmm.
And the Texans don't have that. They have a lot of things they need to work on in this draft and in free agency. Titans are going to win this one pretty easy and maintain the AFC South as their division for this year.
Yeah, I'm going with the Titans as well. I don't think the Texans have the heart. Like, I don't know if you guys watched JJ Watt's press conference. He was like so heated at his teammates, so you can tell the locker room wise they're not getting along great. So yeah, and I think Derrick Henry's the human Mack truck. So
yeah,
the Titans.
Yeah, I'm also gonna take Tennessee. I think Derrick Henry's just too much for the weak defense of Houston.
So if Derrick Henry is the Mack truck, is the end zone the little garage?
I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
No.
somebody was gonna make the joke. It was a matter of who was gonna
no
say
one
it.
was going to make that joke.
You just had to ruin it.
You were the only one who was going to make that joke, Andrew.
I stand by my guns.
I'm taking the Titans. Get Deshaun Watson the hell out of Houston, please. Save this man's career.
Yup.
Yeah, you gotta feel bad for that guy. He had all the tools there for a couple years, and then Bill O'Brien took them all away.
Yeah, he was like, we don't need the best receiver in the league.
Jets, I'd be on the phone right away with the Texans. You're not getting Lawrence. If you can get Fields, great. But Deshaun Watson, I think he needs to be set free.
I agree. He gives me very much Matthew Stafford vibes. Like,
Stafford's
great
gonna
guy,
leave Detroit for sure.
crappy team.
All right, so Brandon, who
Stafford
you taking in this
would
game?
be a Hall of Famer if
100%.
Yeah,
if he were to leave for New
Detroit.
England right now.
Yeah.
that could work. Yeah.
Honestly, any team, but
All right, so Brandon, who you taking in this game?
Titans.
All right, and Aaron.
The Titans. Yeah. No. They're
All right, and our last game. This will decide whether that Dallas-New York game actually means anything. Washington at Philly. Philly is playing with a third-string quarterback, Heineke. I can't remember what his first name was.
Taylor Heineke.
I haven't seen enough about him. Alex Smith is questionable. Haskins gets cut because he likes going to strip clubs too much. Yep. And that's really going to hinder on your offense. Terry McLaurin is really good. Antonio Gibson is really good. They're both amazing, but I don't know enough about Heineke to trust him to lead this offense to a win. I think Hurts is starting to get honed in on that Philadelphia offense and maybe get some traction. I think it's going to come down to the wire, but I'm going to take Philadelphia winning it and taking Washington's hopes out.
Who's in this game again? Sorry.
The Washington football team and the Eagles.
Yeah. See, I think there's too much turmoil in Washington right now. I don't think that they're very much focused on this game. I think they're focused on next year and beyond and like the cohesiveness of their locker room. I would prefer Washington to win because they're the Washington Buckeyes in my eyes.
Yeah, they have a weird amount of Ohio State players, but a lot of teams.
A weird amount of Ohio State and Alabama players, basically their entire team.
New Orleans is another one that it's a large amount of OSU players.
Ohio State players, yes, but yeah. I I don't know. I think both teams are crappy and neither one deserves to be in the playoffs, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And I'm going to go with the Eagles.
All right. So now you have Dallas in as your NFC East champions.
I'm gonna
Riding for the boys.
I'm gonna take Washington if they come out ready to play against the weak defense of the Eagles, and I think Chase Young will just kill someone out there. So.
All right, I'm going out with the Eagles. I think Jalen Hurts is really hitting a stride. He didn't look great last week, but he has turned that Eagles team from bad to mid, which is an improvement. And if you're without Alex Smith, that mid is all you need to beat that Washington football team.
All right, Brandon.
I'm going with the Washington football team. Keep it simple. These games, I don't see how the Eagles have a chance, really. So,
all right. And Aaron.
This is a tough one. Part of me wants to say the Eagles because Jalen Hurts is popping off. But then want to have faith in the football team. So I'm going to have to go with the football team.
If you get in the playoffs, you have to keep the football team name. You can't change it.
Yeah, there's history.
Good luck. You've made the playoffs every year.
What else are they even going to make it? The Washington Capitals? I mean, that's already
Red
a team.
Tails. I'm already rooting for the Red Tails.
Sentinels.
No, the issue is one lawyer trademarked 40 different names, and all of them would be decent.
Oh, yeah,
but
I did remember seeing
the Washington football team will have to pay this man a lot of money because he's smart.
Yeah,
someone also did that to the Cleveland Indians.
People do the same thing with like technology where they patent like teleporters. And if anyone wants to invent a teleporter, it hasn't even been invented yet. They have to pay this guy to do it.
Yeah.
Even though he has no idea how a teleporter would work, he just patented it because
one day he can make money.
Yeah, one day somebody will make it and you can be like, I'll sell you the patent for this amount of money.
Anyways, unrelated, the Steelers QB room is going to look phenomenal next year with Sam Darnold, Dwayne Haskins, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota.
Just picking up all the scraps.
Jabu would be such a good quarterback if he just like could see. You know what I mean?
If he didn't love crabs so much.
Jameis taking over the league as soon as feels kind of racist to extend Taysom Hill, but not Jameis.
Yeah. All right. So breaking news
you
from
got
the
Tim
NFL.
Tebow on one end.
Yeah. Saints are without Latavius Murray, Dwayne Washington, Michael Burton, and Alvin Kamara tomorrow. All of their running backs are in close contact. So it's much like that Denver situation with the quarterbacks, Cleveland with the wide receivers. They now have to just find.
They need running backs.
They just got to take their practice squad guy and hope.
Taysom Hill. It doesn't matter.
Taysom Hill is your running back this week. Yeah.
Yep.
Taysom Hill and your practice squad guy are who you're running the ball with.
Man, those 2 weeks in fantasy where he was listed as a tight end were insane.
Yes.
All right. That is all for the show. Remember to tune in next week. Give us a like, comment, subscribe, share it. Everything you do goes and helps us. Let us know we're doing a good job. If you follow us, you can know whenever the shows go live. Leaving us comments lets us know what we can talk about in other shows. We'll probably bring it up. Sharing it just helps it get to a wider audience. Right now, it is very much local to Tusk County, and I know a few people from other cities and states that know family that are watching us, but when everyone shares it, it helps us get bigger and promotes us and helps us possibly get a bigger brand in this and make a better show for you guys. But thank you guys so much for the support you gave us in 2020. Let's make sure that 2021 is even bigger. Let's get it done. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.